Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Sat Sri Akal, Namaste, good afternoon. This is Mansoor Mirza once again, uh, joining you with my free for all mathematics class for grade 9 and 10. I hope that you are learning from these lessons and taking advantage of these free for all mathematics lessons while during this summer holidays as well. And I'll definitely try my best to continue throughout the coming weeks, even after the school is open. So I'm putting the serial number onto these presentation once they are posted on Facebook after the slide session. So the students who miss some lesson, they can just follow back and go and review the previous lessons because they are numbered as lesson 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you uh, are joining us now and you have not seen these lessons prior to today's presentation, you are welcome to go and search for lesson 1. I'll recommend you to please start from lesson 1, and then weekly basis or in 1 week you might can review easily 2 or 3 lessons and join us and cover up the missing areas or missing lessons we have so far. So today, the topic of my this presentation or today's lesson is determining the equation of a line. Uh, yes, there are some different ways mentioned in this book. I will just use another way. First, try to simplify the understanding about the line equation, and then I'll explain you the different elements of that equation and how we can calculate those numbers separately and then insert those numbers into this equation to get the final result. So today's topic once again is how we can find out the equation of a line from given numbers or given plotted graph on the sheet or whatever we get. So let me explain you two things. The basic line equation we can write down in the form of y is equal to mx plus c. If you understand what is y and what is m, and what is x and what is c, and then how we get these numbers, you might recall the last week lesson where I explained slope. I use the word slope, and I also use the way how we can calculate these slopes. So the value of m is another way we can call it as a slope of the equation. And how we can calculate this value? We can calculate the slope m as y2 minus y1 or over x2 minus x1. So the difference of two y-axis of 2 points and the difference between the x-axis of the similar 2 points. Once we write down these numbers or we divide the y difference of y coordinates by the difference of x coordinate, we can easily find out the value of m. Or in other way, if you see a word used as a slope, exactly slope means m. Slope means the difference of the ratio between these two numbers. So in question, they can be asking you as m, they can use the word as slope, they can give you two coordinates of x and y of that particular line and then leave it up to you. They can also give you a starting point, as we mentioned last in the last lesson, that starting point is 10, 10, 8, minus 4, whatever the number is, that goes right here. And this is how we can find out uh, the equation of that line. The example I have given in this book, I will explain you through that example and then I'll elaborate more onto that example. It says two common methods for determining the equation of a line involve using the graph of the line or two known points on the line. So as I mentioned, two known points, as we can say that, for example, on a line, we can have x and y or x1, y1 numbers, and the second number could be x2 and y2 number. So once we are given these two coordinates, then we can easily find out m, or the ratio between the differences of the y coordinate divided by the x coordinate, and then insert into the value. So whichever way we are given or we have the information or the numbers given, we will calculate and we will work according to those numbers. So I can give you an example on this book, page 54. The example is given that how we are going to determine the equation from a graph. So if we have been given a graph, how we are going to find out the equation. The next part of today's lesson would be if we are given the equation from 2 points, how we are going to find out the equation from 2 points. Both are originally, I would say, have the same concept, but a slight difference of picking up the information or calculating these numbers. So I'm going to calculate this number. It says on the graph, let me just draw this graph and then I'll move on to the next line. So let me rub it. Okay. So the graph I was given in this is that's the value 0, 5, 10, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And then similar way I have minus 5, minus 10, minus 15, minus 20. And then I have these numbers again, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. The actual graph crosses started from 15. So it starts from this number and pass through in between 5 and 10. So it passed through somewhere here. If I go and cross this line like this, so if you see in this particular question, it gives me a number that the graph crosses the y-axis at 15. So if you see this line, it continues, it is crossing the y-axis at 15. So that shows me that I can have this number as 0 and 15 because x is 0 and y is 15. So this is how I am going to take out one number which I clearly see that yes, this line is passing through, passing the y-axis through 15 numbers. So actually the y point is 15 and x is 0. So my coordinate I picked up is 0 and 15. The other area which I see that the line easy or simple I can find is that if I go through this area, then if you see these lines are passing through, if you go this way, so if you see this, so another point I'm getting is 15 and this minus 15. So because I'm not drawing the whole graph paper, so you might be a little bit confused, but if you see that 15, x15 and y15, if I bring them here, I see that same straight line is also passing through this 15 and minus 15. So in simple way, I easily got another point from this graph, which is 15 and minus 15. So let me just circle these 2 points. So once I see a clear point, I am going to use this point and I'm going to use this point. So in simple way, now I got my x1 and y1 as 0 and 15. My x2 and y2 I got as 15 and minus 15. So now remember the equation I just drawn before. Y is equal to mx plus c. In this case, can you see that the line is passing on which axis it's starting from? In this case, we are going to find out that the line is passing starting from this 15 point on this particular graph. So the other way, our C is 15 because that's the starting point of the line. So these decimal points I use are just to show you that line might can go through, but actually it's starting from this point. So our starting point is 15 as well. So now how I'm going to calculate M or slope. So if I recall my formula, which was y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2 is minus 15 and y1 is minus this minus 15 and then minus 15, and then x2 is 15 and minus 0. So once I find out the ratio, my ratio comes as, this is minus 30 over 15, and now the ratio comes as if I calculate minus 2. So my M comes to minus 2. So in this case, my equation would be y is equal to minus 2x plus 15. So that this is how I find out my final equation. So remember, whenever a line equation, the basic, you should always remember y is equal to mx plus c, and keep in your mind there are two things you need to get. What is the starting point? That goes at C. What is the slope or the ratio between the differences of any 2 points? So how we are going to find out if the graph is already drawn, we can just pick up 2 clear points. We should not be picking up any of those points which is slightly above or below. We should get a clear 2 points. So what we found out in this, these were the 2 clear points. So finding the ratio, we find out the value of y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1 was coming at minus 2. This is how our final result came up. Now, in another case, this is a situation where the line is drawn on a graph and we are the one to pick up the points. The next part is, what if we are just given 2 points? That's it. That's more simple way, because the points are given and the starting point is given. So basically, you don't have to go through all this. These 2 points are given and C value is given. That's just insert those values, but yes, we still have to find out this. So this lower calculation will be exactly same, but we don't have to worry about identifying the right points because the points are already given. So I'm going to go and solve another example so that we can understand how we are going to calculate the second way. Remember in the beginning I said there are 2 ways. One, when the graph is given and we pick up the points, and the second is when the points are given and we calculate those numbers. So now the scenario is where we are given 2 points and we are going to find out equation. So the next part is determining the equation from 2 points. So in this case, the equation is given as that what is the equation of the line with the points 2, minus 2, and the second point is 8 and 16. I always recommend, for your simplifications and for your easiness, so that you don't forget which number should be the 1 or 2, just assign one number as x1, y1, and then x2, y2. So in this way, if once you remember this equation, remember I said mx plus c, or I can say y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1 into x plus c. So this is the value we are actually going to find out from this. So if you don't care about this and you understand, you don't need to do this. But I would prefer, as a student of grade 9, make a habit of assigning these into x2 and y, x1 and y1, x2, y2 identification. So then once you recall this equation, how to calculate, it will be much easier for you. Now you have y2 and you have assigned the x1 and y1, and that's why it's very simple to calculate. So now if I have to calculate my m, or y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So my y2 is 16, y1 is 2, then x2 is 8, and sorry, this is that was minus 2, right? And 8 minus 2. So this comes at 16 plus 4 over 6. This becomes 20 over 6. I can simplify this to 3 and to 10. So that could be 10 over 3. So now in this case, C is given as, because we were told that the y-intercept, that value of C is, y-intercept was or C was 8. Sorry, minus 8. So C was given as minus 8. So this was much easier to solve now, because we only calculate the value of M, or the ratio between these coordinates, and then we are going to insert these values. So now the values we are going to insert is this and this. So this is going to be, I'm going to write a little bit further. So let's say I write down here as M is equal to 10 over 3. So M was 10 over 3. So these are the values I'm going to use into my equation, which I said y is equal to mx plus c. When I insert these values, this becomes 10 over 3x and plus this 8. The final answer will be 10 over 3x minus 8. So that is going to be our final equation. So if it's reflecting, I believe that now you can see. So our final result is 10 by 3x minus 8. So my numbers are coming at different. So let me see if I have done any mistakes. So 8, 16, 2 minus 2. Okay. So that is coming at x2 minus x1, 6. Okay. The other one was coming at 16 minus, sorry, see, that was 2, so it will be plus 2. This will give us 18. I apologize for this mistake. So this would be 18 over 6, and now I will become 2 3s are, and 6 1s are, 6 3s are. So my final answer would be 3, and this answer would be here 3x. So I apologize that I might be looking at a different number and I calculated wrong. So our final answer is 3x minus 8. So I hope that everybody understand and learn how we determine the equation of a line from two different ways. One is when the graph is given, the line is already drawn, and then we can pick up two very good numbers which are exactly like on the line, and then we work from this whole formula. or the other way is when the 2 points or the coordinates of 2 points are given, and then also it shows where it intercepts the y-axis, the y-intercepts, and starting point, other way we can say, and we draw from these numbers. And please give us your feedback if you like to add some other topic. If you don't understand, you can reach me at 416-571-1163. You can send me message through the Facebook. Let me see if somebody has any message on my screen today. Normally, I just focus on the topic, and then I don't wait on these questions, because students can reach me, uh, or their parents can reach me through this messenger service, and I'll be more than happy to help you in your assignments. If you do not understand any of the topic, take picture of the topic, share with me, and I'll try my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you, and have yourself a wonderful Sunday.